Welcome back, I'm Kim Bailey and this is Floral Art Online, and this is what we affectionately call the supermarket series, where we use one bunch of flowers that we've bought from a store, a supermarket or a health food store or a fruit and veg store, whatever else it is, and see what we can do with that particular bunch of flowers. Now generally they are one type of flower in the bunch, as you would expect. Sometimes we'll do a mixed bunch, but today we're doing the one single type of flower, and we've got some chrysanthemums. Other things that we're going to use today are a candelabra. Now this is one that is plain black, and what I've done is wrapped some different coloured wool around it to match the flowers that we've got. A great way of having a particular stand or vase or container that you can use regardless of what colour scheme you've got in the flower. So just find some wool or something else that you can wrap your stand in, and you can mix and match with whatever decor and whatever flowers you've got. We're going to use some sticky tape, some masking tape. We've got 4 plastic vials for our water source for the flowers. We've got some mesh. Now this is mesh that I made out of paper covered wire for all sorts of purposes, but you could use chicken mesh or garden mesh, any sort of mesh that's a little bit decorative, and we just need a little bit of that. We've got an old pantyhose stocking in black, just to match the black that's on the stand. We've got some Tillandsia, so it's an air plant, also known as Spanish moss or old man's beard, and we're going to use a little bit of that as well in the design. So let's get started. So we've got this very structural stand, and what we want to do is not have it look like it's just a candle holder that we've added some flowers to. So we have to change the way that it looks at the top here so that it doesn't automatically scream at us that it's a candle holder. So that's what our stocking is for, our pantyhose are for. So hole at both ends, just over the top, and then we stretch it side to side. And that'll just mask for our eyes what this structure really is. So it gives us a different framework. And then just tie it at the top. Just a little knot is fine. You could glue it down if you wanted to with a bit of the sticky dots or something like that. But that is going to hold, and we've still got the spikes there, which we are going to use as part of the structural hold for it. And just make sure you haven't covered up too much of your material underneath. And don't ask me about the size of the pantyhose, I wouldn't have a clue. It's just whatever was in the cupboard. So you can see how that changes the way it looks, and it matches our black feet on the stand, so it brings the colour through. We'll have the pink repeated in the flowers that are at the top. So we just need to make something that's going to hold our flowers, and that's what the mesh is for. We're just going to make it into a ball. Now you could make the mesh into a ball to start with, but I reuse this, as you would imagine, so I'm just going to make it so that it fits. Now you'll see that I've turned it upside down, and that's so that I can get the vials in, and it still has some structural integrity at the bottom that I can squeeze over the edge of that top stand that holds it in place. Once again, you could glue it, you could tie it in if you were a little bit unsure, but I'm going to leave it like that. And then we're going to put our vials in. Now you'll see that these have got little arms either side. They're called monkey arms. I'm going to show you how that is done. Move that out of the way. So we've got the vial and 2 pieces of paper covered wire or some sort of wire. Basically halfway, pinch them together, and then we turn the tube rather than twist the wire, because you'll get a tighter connection at the edge. And then on the opposite side, same way. And what that gives you is those 2 arms there, and they can be hooked over wire, so just to hang comfortably on a support, or you can use them to bind into the structure that you've got. So we're going to use them to bind into the structure that we've got. And by binding them this way, I can actually get some angles on them, which is also good. Just remember when they've got water in them that they will find their own balance point, but because you've got that flexible wire around them or that flexible mesh around them, you can adjust it so that it's still in the positions that you want it to be in. Now on the other two we still need something, so that's where the masking tape, the packing tape comes in. So I've just got one length of the packing tape, is, oh, this handy one here, and it's just sticky side out, keeping the sticky side out. Launch it into some sort of a shape to place, and that's just so that the Tillandsia, the Spanish moss, has got something to connect to. I'll just grab that other one off the floor and sit those on there, because once we've got the weight of the plant material on them, they will actually hold in place. So let's do that. And what we want here is for something to cascade down. So once again, it's bringing the bottom of the stand into the rest of the design, but keeping it light and airy. I'm doing very well today because I'm doing this backwards, so you're seeing it as what the front would be. What we might do is add a little bit in here so that the interest is carried through and it's repeated. Just a little bit, not too much, because we still want that interesting structure to be seen. Or if you don't, you could cover it up. Now what we need to do is place our flowers. So I'm picking out of this bunch so we've got 4 stems. But each stem obviously has got quite a number of flowers on it, which makes them, as I've said many times before, a very economical way to get flowers. So we'll probably only need to use one stem. And what I'm just looking at is where I've got open, which one's got the most open flowers on it, because we want a bit of a show for this design. So it looks like it's that one. So we'll probably only use the one stem that's got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 flowers and a bud on it. So take the bud off. These can all be separated into the single stems because they're very small tubes that I've got there, so I might put 2 in, but I don't want them joined with their original stalk. So there we go. So we've got a couple of quite open ones and a few that are interesting to look at. Once again, as I've said many times before, if you've got any that are really damaged, like these ones that are actually bent, and just pull them off. Not going to hurt the plant, and it's going to ensure that you've got a good display for a longer period of time. These are quite long tubes, so what I want is for the flower head to sit at the top of them. So we're going to have to cut them down just a little bit more. Nice clean cut on an angle so that it's got plenty of room to take the water up. We need the biggest one in the middle. It's that one. This one. Once again, it's important to look at your plant material and to think about the sizes and the shapes and where it's going and which way it'll be facing. I'm not going to force that one in. It's got a little bit of a bend in the... But what I will do is cut that plastic top. Now, I could have taken the plastic tops off, but I find that they hold the material in place a bit better. So I'll put that one in. There we go. That's better. Now, I'm going to turn that around so I can have a look at it and see what else I need to do. Okay. So we've got quite a space here. Our eye is drawn to that because there's nothing there. So it's what's called negative space. So we're going to fill that in a little bit. We'll have a little bit of the Tillandsia in there. And then I'm actually going to put another tube in there that is facing forward. Handy that I have. I will need to turn that around so I can see what I'm doing. One of the benefits of these tubes is that they can be at any angle when they've got that cap on. So this one's at not a vertical position, shall we say. Now what I'm doing is just teasing out that flower because I want it to be nice and big as a front-facing flower. Important for you to get comfortable with manipulating your flowers and moving them around so that they're giving you the effect that you want. Now, I'm not so keen on seeing the tops of those tubes, so I'm just adding a bit of distraction. You'll still be able to see them, but they won't be shouting at you quite the same way. Now, just going to have a look at what it would look like with another couple of flowers grouped beside that one. Smaller ones. Which is what I will do. I won't use the bud, but I will use those. And so when you see the photo, I'll turn it around so you can see. When you see the photo, because I haven't got a tube prepared here ready for you, when you see the photo there'll be another 2 flowers here, just like that. Which just balances the top of the design and brings the colour a little bit further down to match the colour that we've got in the stand. So let me finish that off and you'll be able to see the perfectly finished product in the photos at the end of the video. Thanks for being with us again today. I'm Kim Bailey. This is Floral Art Online, the supermarket series.